Ranga Nui leads us, but he represents all of Rautai.
Then must he put his name on everything? Prize share is simpler.
You're back. Kue, any news? You are willing to put up all that money? What of the gloves? What happened to them? At least I know Arkemyr won't feed me to the imps. Take your discount as well. If the cupboard doesn't make its goals, so be it. Imp, go hang laundry. I'm only doing this for how you help Bertenno. Here, burn Arkemyr's manor down for all I care. What else do you need? The imps that guard the manor? Idiots. Arkemyr plays with shape-shifting illusions, so his imps know him by his clothes. Do with that what you will.
Salutations. Do you wish to hear your fortune? Only one pyre. What, am I famous out there or something? Tell you what, 500 pyres and you get the exclusive story. I need to buy my way out of here somehow. 500 pyres greases the gears. That manor is a fortress. An Orland partner and I got to thinking that Arkemyr wouldn't miss a few coins here, a few gems there. There's a span of natural rock between Arkemyr's place and the luminous bathhouse. Ganor let us camp in his basement with our pickaxes. After some careful hammering, we found ourselves in Arkemyr's manor without a guard in sight. Hey, you're smarter than you look. We might have been able to crack the lock on the front door, but who knew how many guards would meet on the other side? We snuck through the house until we found the vault. No keyhole, just a bunch of gems. While he was working on the lock, one of the local imps grew keen to us. Alarms went off. I don't remember dying, really. I just woke up in this box, and Arkemyr told me that I had to work off my debt. Arkemyr told me that he died, but that he was put to good use. Forgive me if I don't speculate on the meaning of that.
I see you brought your pain, but you need come to ease it. Pity. Aye, if you say so. It eases my pain. More than that is an awful long yarn, and nae entered lickly. I fecht in the broken stone war some 2 centuries gone by now. I left the woods of Eder for the eastern reach. I claimed to seek to protect our colonists, but in truth, I sought the glory of battle. Glory were nae to be had. Truth be telt, I hold luckier than most. The Orlans o' Ayr Glanfath wielded blades that sheathed spirit as easily as flesh. Some of mine fellows were slaughtered body and soul. Aye, that I do. And a downright vicious bunch they are. Aye, 'twas. Oft times when I sleep, I behold yet their blank eyes, gawning at nothing. One weird o' the will of the gods one, a farmer near a Boots log home, invited the soldiers for dinner. 'Twas hairst, and the crop was rowdy. She and her man devised us a braw and gusty feast. Deer pie and salmon, a stew of cabbage, carrots, and potatoes, squash roasted with pine nuts, and the sweetest honey bread I ever tasted. The Glanfathans riled the animals. By then we caught the trick, so the captain bade the farmer's family stay within. We skipped into the necht, approached the thick swine, and the arrows began to fall. The shelter folk, hunters and kempers bred, aimed their arrows true, and 2 of us fell immediately. The Orlans rashed us down, small and shady, visible only by the violet flames that lit their blades. We drank it that firm in blood, both sides. In the end, only I remained, standing in the farmhouse door, holding mine innards in, waiting for another cocksfeather to come and finish the work. I only lived because of that farmer. She sewed me up, fed me till I had health enough to stand. She said she owned me, but I think we both conned that we brought the trouble upon them with our presence. The raiders had been too many a slecht at simple farmhouse. The pine bothered me little in mine youth. I fought ye. I set flames to black trees. I took arms again, the uprising at New Dunreed. After that, little welcome remained me in the new Duke's Kintra, and I travelled northward. Yet with age, the old wounds show new death. By my count, I've suffered 18 arrows and half again as many stabbings. That I yet live testifies to either my stubbornness or that of the gods. I ranged for years seeking a balm for the growing pine. Drink helped for a time, svev for another. Now, only these baths, infused with Adra, dull the agony. Aye, I did. At the time it seemed recht. Now, I feel less certain. Aye. Thank you for listening. Few day. Unless there's anything you need, please, let me to mine water.
Welcome, welcome. I am Ganor, owner and proprietor of the Luminous Bathhouse. If there's any way I might make your visit more comfortable, you need only ask.
Is this your first time to the baths? The cost is high, but so are the delights. I might have the skin and bones of a retired scarecrow, but the waters bring youth back, where it counts. If only we had a bit of privacy, maybe.
Clever guy.
Let's take a look. Let me fetch my tools. I've had practice.
What have we here?
Let me fetch my tools. I've had practice.
intruder! Ground meat in the Master's sanctum! Scree! Scree! Shows what you know, eh? Master doesn't have friends. Follow me, eh? Take you outside. Stay close and not get hurt. Supposed to be here? Ground meat not supposed to stink up Master's house!
Mythical. I need to try something else.
Why Master need books? Not even taste good.
Wait, look there.
Could lick crystal until tongue fall off.
You read my mind. I can be quiet if you can. Let me fetch my tools. That wasn't so hard. Watch an artist at work. Watch an artist at work. That wasn't so hard. Strangest feeling I've done this before. Now this I can use.
Can't make a dent.
Reverse! How could I miss that badge?
May I assist? You're only delaying the inevitable. What's our plan? They see you miss the alpha predator. May I assist?
Let's take a look.
You ask so little.
Could be a fight.
Quick! At your service. At once. Agreed. I won't be gone long.
I sense a predator in the water. Slippery as an eel.
Can't hide from me.
Quick! Feel it!
You see that, Ishi?
This doesn't does not work.
Well, you insist.
It is no use. I cannot get through.
Somehow it always ends. May I assist?
Right between the eyes.
What do you need? Well, don't see why not.
There.
Not happening.
That's right.
Shall we begin?
Mythical. I need to try something else.
May I assist? You read my mind. Child's play.
Watch your step. All this stuff is a little too out in the open for my tastes. What have we here?
I have the strangest feeling I've done this before. artist at work. I've had practice. Watch an artist at work. That wasn't so hard. Let me fetch my tools. I've had practice. How curious. right. May I ask? You ask so little. Watch an artist at work. Let me fetch my tools. About as easy as I expected. May I assist?
You need something? You need something? Next time, a challenge.
What did you find, Ishi?
You read my mind.
Maya, do you recall the tales or songs of your tribe?
No. I was a hatchling when I left the Deadfire.
Oh, I thought perhaps...
This isn't story time, fish boy. Don't make me send a Shiza after your eyes.
Last time you showed your face here, you left with a swollen thumb.
Akira, you swing the forge hammer with such grace, I say.
A better compliment than you paid last time. I'll take it. Holler if any of the iron or steel laying around catches your fancy. Or if you need something repaired, I'm happy to take a glance.
Do you look for something in particular? I am the apprentice. What few he made me I think it's because he knows I hate.
I see you pulled Ngati's chosen from the guild hall. Akira, but have you pried any secrets from the Gullet yet? Maya, I hope you do not judge our fair city too harshly.
What? Look, keep your business where it belongs, with the captain.
Undercroft, a darker, more fetid layer of Neketaka, I say. Onikaza and I are the mind and heart of the city, but the bowels, these we cannot reach. What say? Did Ngati's chosen learn anything from the voyage below?
My prince, I have always known those who pray for Ngati's favor, but only now do I see those who depend on it.
Akira, I say that a feather of Amira's wisdom drifted down to find you. At least Delva's Row is a stable target. The crown has time to decide the next steps. To Kehu, I say that no one wanted to hear your suspicions confirmed.
Akira, me least of all, my prince.
When it comes to the dignity of the guild, the crown can compromise nothing. Onikaza will see their leadership disciplined, I say. Onikaza and I both expect more from the guild, I say. She will not be pleased. Akira, but at least you returned to me in one piece. You are not the first agent I sent to the Gullet, but you are the first to return. I say I would feel safe anywhere with Rauatai's sharpest weapon in my arsenal.
If you're trying to flatter me, stop taking notes from my brother the poet.
I cannot say that I desire to send you to worse places than the Gullet, but... Akira, I like a man who works for his prize. Does the name Ukaizo mean anything to you? Fable? No. History, I say. Ukaizo was the home of the Huana before cataclysm and destruction wiped the island from the Deadfire. That is the story. Story or no, I make no secret that we search for Ukaizo. I do not share this lightly, I say.
Please, speak on. If it looks like I'm taking notes, it's because I am.
Should I leave this in the hands of someone I trust instead? Akira, I should hope so. Our tribes are spread across many isles, but it is Ukaizo which binds us. Ukaizo, and the knowledge that we must return. To that end, a local cartographer secured a lead, a breadcrumb to a breadcrumb, I say. I sent an expedition to Matario Kozi, one of the Sanctuary Isles. They were to retrieve evidence of our lost homeland. They have yet to return. They were sites where our ancestors grouped in terms of crisis. constants in changing seas. You have the cartographer Atepo to thank. He wanders the Western Shrine if you would know more. The Sanctuary Isles give comfort and guidance to sailors on the long journey home. I am hoping the island can remember its purpose and return us to the home we lost. A question for those with years to gather reeds and scribe their thoughts. It might be that someone or something on the island does not wish to be found. In better times than these, I would have been happy to oblige. The trading companies would not have thought to look for Mataria or Cozy, but now they are vultures to carrion. I do not doubt that our rivals race for the same thing, all while we fall behind. Ikira, then you are ready to depart? To Kehu, I trust you are going. I want the tribes to know that Ngati's chosen stood among those who threw open the gates of Ukaizo.
I make no promises of dirtying my hands in some fetid jungle, but I do not protest a calm voyage.
Before you go.
That did seem like too nice a way to end it.
The expedition. I have reason to believe they will not be returning to Neketaka. You forget yourself, but I am more forgiving than my sister. We found this at the palace doorstep, cut from the robe of the expedition leader. One mystery heaped on another, I say. Convenient? No. The easy path would have left you in the dark. Take care if you alight on Mataria Cozy. My fear is that the island is sanctuary no more. Prepare yourself for a hard voyage northeast of Neketaka. Mataria Cozy is nestled in the Kua Rakuhu Islands, in the midst of a landmass that resembles a storm, like the fall of Ukaizo locked in time.
Don't mind me as I take down those coordinates.
Certain death it is, then.
Watcher, even if Ukaizo is a myth, Motario Cozy is old enough that it may contain some clue about why Eothas is interested in the Deadfire.
Do not leave me in suspense, I say. Have you found Matario Cozy? If you have questions, the royal brother will hear you.
Shortage. Are the Raparu not fed the leavings of the Kwaru and Mataru?
It is no wonder how Delver's Row won the love of my people, I say, by feeding them when we could not. Find us solutions instead of old problems, I say. My sister would call this a test from the gods. It is our role to feed the Raparu, and we do not pass on our duties to outsiders. But I am of a different mind. Nothing pleases Ngati like an unlikely solution, and this is what you bring. Ikira, then let it be so. If you have more to say, I am not above listening. Ikira, both topics I know well. Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others. I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks. My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice. But Ikera, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents.
The ocean is a few monsters short since the Armada showed up. I think we passed your fish god's trial.
Quite so, Maya. We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Huana, our burden to appease the gods. In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Woedica testing us, weighing who deserves the Isles. I see Ngati sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon. The gods will judge us by our persistence and our grace before foes. It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Neketaka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Neketaka tests our traditions, I say. What man or woman of the Isles does not? Our ancestors built this place. We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit. It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Neketaka has more walls than beaches, more roads than nowhere in the city does you speak as if it is not. Our ancestors built this place. It is for my sister and her. My sister would say that Ukaizo is the birth canal of the tribes, and we are destined to return and discover ourselves again. Ask Onikaza if you would know more. She is the family historian. I am the family arsenal.
A Tepu, drawer of maps. I have nothing to sell unless you are needing something else. What I discovered remains to be seen. The Sanctuary Isles were thought to be lost beneath the waves. If I stumbled upon one, I can think of worse finds to credit my name. I was surveying the waters around an atoll when a storm dragged my ship off course. The waters were unknown to me. When a green fleck appeared in my spyglass, I unfurled my sail. The shore twisted around itself, confusing even this old navigator until I found myself at the center. I did not make it far up the beach before I spotted signs of habitation. Marking my coordinates and orienting myself by the evening sky, I made for Neketaka to tell the crown of my findings. Death. I did not mean to frighten you. These islands have known great tragedy, and millennia have passed in cheerless silence. Should you land on a sanctuary isle, do not expect to find welcome. Our ancestors marked off specific islands across Deadfire as rallying points in case a great misfortune split up the tribes. Even they could not have guessed how important the isles would become. Some thousands of years ago, volcanoes, storms, and quakes shook the archipelago. Any one of those do happen, but never with such ferocity or all at once. The Huana survived by taking shelter on the Sanctuary Isles to save our society, and not just any one tribe. Since those days, we have not found any of the old Sanctuary Isles. Ngati took some beneath the waves, taking whole tribes with her. Others were lost to time and forgetfulness. I am told that the Wahaki are protective toward the Isles, but that is their business. Understand, the Deadfire was broken. The lives lost could not be counted, and more has been forgotten than may ever be remembered. Imagine how much history we lost in a single year, much less the millennia that followed. Whatever our people hoped for themselves, we may never know if we got it right or wrong. Ah, if we must. There is not a Huana in all of the Deadfire who does not take to the open water hoping to catch a glimpse of the lost Ukaizo. Oh, if I could walk the beaches of our ancestors, take a fleeting glimpse of what they left behind, mine would be a life well lived. The same thing we all hope for, answers to the long silence that precedes our history. Who we were could tell us who we are. But if I am being selfish, maps, charts. Our ancestors were keen explorers, and a roll of their parchment could teach us more than what we have gathered in the last century.
At once.
You songwriters need a guild if you hope to learn discipline.
Not so. We speak in the tongue of Ngati and Amira. Your pretty dances may upset the puddle, but we command the wind and sky.
Hey, I have missed our little talks.
Akira.
Is there anything the Watcher does not see? We have both seen the worst of the city. How the Reparu cluster like sea rats. Without Delver's Row, Onakaza must work harder to deserve the trust of the Reparu. How did the stone walls and paved lanes of Neketaka divide us so? You have walked the length of Neketaka's spine. How would you serve the needs of all these people at once? You think that something in the great pattern of Neketaka does not align with the Hawana way? I was hard-pressed to find insight like yours in Pariki's Overlook. You have questions? Akira, I have answers.
He smells one touched by the great eel, does Berath. You are a man who sits across a fire with death, Akira. For glutting mighty Tangaloa and hurling foes into their next life, Berath can offer payment. Coins for feeding hungry gods. Akira, rewarding those who appease the great eel. This is Berath's cause. May the beasts of the Dreaming Lands never know famine. Tangaloa rolls a hungry eye toward Dichila, a Valian captain who scouts for luminous Adra in sacred lands. Akira, Tangaloa knew it would be so. Dichila sails her Voyager Elysial around the waters south of Neketaka. The great eel hungers for her soul. Ask, but do not keep the great eel waiting.
You make a habit of turning up uninvited. Kahopa, Tangaloa, welcome our guest.
Watch out. When these things lick, well, I hope for your sake you're not ticklish.
You travel with a brave crew, Watcher. Nothing to fear, I say. If a queen cannot wrangle two cats, what right has she to the Deadfire? Your purpose and your temperament seem well paired. Welcome to my garden. Now, what is it you're after? Sail west from Neketaka's harbor. I would tell you to watch for a lighthouse, but Hasongo's Adra has gone dark. Take care that your ship does not run aground. There, you have it from a queen. Watcher, something on your mind? Fine beasts, are they not? Gifts from the Wapua, a tribe of proud animal trainers. I I named them Kohopa and Tangaloa, which makes the priests very unhappy. Aruihi thinks I should feed my enemies to them alive and screaming. Ikira, I have given it thought. Ah, Akira, but listen how the Watcher flatters me. I cannot plant a seed in untilled soil. Akira, I want for there to be trust between us. The trading companies send spies to every corner of the mountain. I say there are places they cannot go. You and Aruihi think alike. This is my oasis, I say, not my prison. But you did not climb all the way up the mountain to pay compliments, I say. We are the stewards of the Deadfire. Our ancestors made this pact with the goddess Nagati long before Ukaizo, before the island vanished. How long does coral grow? It is said the tribes assembled when Kohopa took his first mouthful of Amira's hatchling, and we will be here until the sea rises above our heads. The one which taught us to shape water. It is said that Nagati bound her 4 guardians to protect the islands, the Adra, the seas, and the tribes. In return, she gifted them the forms of water shaping. For so long as our promise is kept, the goddess gives us dominion over water. Did I do your mother justice, Takehu?
Akira, somewhere in the abyss, she blinks her enormous eyes with approval, I say.
Awfully cozy how the tribes get to use the endorsement of a goddess in a land dispute.
If that is all you see, then Nagati's lesson is lost on you. May I live to see Rawatai's conceit unravel them from within. Speak on. A friend of the crown should be well informed, I say. Neketaka is older than our memory. We found the great city in ruins, and the Kahanga have spent generations replacing every cracked stone. The Huana, of course, the mark of our ancestors runs deep. Walls and districts are not how we would build a city today, but this place has echoes of the past. And our future, I say, if we can but reach to grasp it. The Valians were very forthright in their desire to carve out a permanent outpost, I say. When cannon shot echoed across the seas, the Crown opened negotiations with Rawatai's armada, a healthier alternative to war. My brother thinks I am too lenient with our visitors. I say I will accept even this uneasy balance. First, a question of my own. This city is not how the tribes would live. Walls stand between neighbors, and the beach is too far to walk comfortably. There are angles of this city I cannot see from my garden. What place has Neketaka in the great pattern of the Deadfire? Bottoms seldom are, I say.
Do we still speak of the city? I have lost track.
Akira, my thanks for your perspective. I say you give me much to consider. Because we are the shrub in the shadow of an old growth. Even the gods may protest, but this city blooms from the wealth of foreigners. Aruihi would have me force them back to their ships. I say it is better to feed my allies under a single roof.
You return. What say, friend? Akira, you've restored to us a piece of our history. The Queen thanks you, my friend. We are a step closer to...
Hey, you the Watcher? Arkemyr, the Great Master, has returned. Invites you to join him at the estate. Says you know where that is. Oh no! Master doesn't tell us imps anything. I won't need to. He already knows. Find Master in his study. Don't be late.
Well, that was faster than I anticipated. I had hoped for more time to work with the Queen on her formal apology, but I will have to accelerate our plan. Thank you again, truly. This may be our most meaningful step towards Ukaizo. We just have to pray that Arkemyr doesn't put hexes on his belongings.
One could view this as an attempt to lure us back to his home in order to brutally murder us for robbing him. On the other hand, no, there is no other hand. He is going to kill us.
I trust you had no trouble finding the place? Neketaka is either a testament to the ancient Huana's love of labyrinths, or their hatred of straight lines. Sadly, I did not invite you here for a discussion of city planning. Your robes, how alike they are to one I keep in my chambers. Indeed. I warn you to stay your hand and treat with me better than you did poor Consulate. But let us get to the business of the hour, shall we? My estate was recently burgled, my vault breached. This will go better for you if you don't insult my intelligence. At the Circle's behest, I'm expected to show restraint in these dealings. If you imagine that imp blood is easy to remove from carpet, I invite you to clean up after yourself. I am less pleased about the Harappo epic resting in the hands of those who lost it once before. Did I ask a question? The Circle of Archmagi wishes for us to put this unpleasantness in the past with a gesture of good faith. The Circle has expressed concerns about a certain mobile deity. The Deadfire is a fragile place, and a blundering soul drain like Aethys can damage more than just castle keeps. Indeed, it isn't our desire that you apprehend the deity. That simply isn't practical. We need your help in preparing for the worst possible outcome. We do not worry. We measure, and the resulting value dictates action. You are only involved because it is advantageous for knowledge of the Circle's involvement to remain discreet. The wizard Bikana installed an observatory due northeast of Neketaka. For your absolution, the Circle asks that you locate her research. She vanished from academic research, and therefore her livelihood. All signs point to her lab being abandoned. That the Circle's concerns are utterly unfounded, of course. No doubt you'll recognize the appropriate documents. You have an eye for valuables. Fair warning, a vessel flying the sigil of the Torn Bannerman set a course for the observatory. I have every reason to believe they travel armed. Did I inquire after your personal history? My interest begins and ends at a single point. That someone of great means desires abandoned arcane research. Research which we disregarded. Come back alive. Or not at all. Now, if you don't mind, I have a manor to restore, and a household staff to replenish.
What's up? Agreed.
Hiding in your pack.
Huh. Didn't think Ishi knew how to smoke.
I heard of missionaries distributing food throughout the Gullet, though I did not think it could be true. Not in this lifetime could I have hoped for more. To have garnered our queen's generosity, I ache to believe it. Never can I thank you enough, Watcher who has the ear of both kith and gods. Always the Reparu will know of your kindness. Should you need refuge within Neketaka, know that the Reparu will stand by your side. May Amira's winds ever fill your sails, boy. We will not forget what you have done for us.
This harsh environment. You must concede that.
They were before they gave their territory to the Valians.
Ah, forget that I spoke.
Stop acting like a fish out of breath and say what's on your mind already.
I can hold my silence no longer. The dignity of the tribes runs through your blood, I say. But you disrespect our people at every turn.
Well, someone told me the Water Shapers controlled their emotions better than this. Guess they were off. If what I say disturbs you, ask yourself why before you paint me as the hypocrite.
Am I not? The Mataru have told me different my entire life, I say.
I can't decide if you're upset because I'm some kind of race traitor, or because the Huana are an embarrassment to these isles.
We were not the embarrassment after the Battle of Nakaro Atoll.
Good people went down with the Tenants of Iron. The Huana gave no warning. It was decades before my time. Before we knew what atrocities a boat full of Water Shapers could do. I'm done talking with fish.
Questions, Captain?
I'm listening. Speak your mind, Captain.
May I agreed.
Need something? What you need? I've got just the thing for you, fresh face. Just the thing. Do you prefer spider-free or spider-full?
Permission to speak freely? I should come clean about something, Captain. Atsura didn't set me loose just so I could stay busy. Fact of the matter is, he gave me a job to do. I've got this stack of missives I need to deliver. Noble errand, right? The company has a lot of people working away from headquarters, and Atsura trusted me to get these in the right hands. I hope that isn't a problem. A bit of everything. Shipping manifests, requisitions for supplies, work orders. Mostly work orders. You wouldn't believe how much paperwork it takes to run a navy. Ah, yes. Making good with the locals, paying off bounties. Maybe Aethys did you a favor when you stepped on Cadnua. I didn't actually mean that. Don't take it personally if I'm vague on some of the details. Atsura likes his discretion, even when it comes to boring bureaucratic stuff. The second that I need you to worry, you'll know. Count on it. Pew pew. This one's bound for Harama, an acquaintance, good sailor. He's somewhere off in Tikawara. And these are for Tuaha, an old friend stationed in Port Mage. You meet some strange types in the Navy. I've got some answers.
You crack the spine of the old book, revealing blackened pages of dense, illegible text. The words recede into the shadows the longer you focus on them. Suddenly, the page widens to eclipse the world around you. A dark void stretches out on all sides, the air full of choking fumes that carry dying embers and curling flakes of ash. Something stirs in the darkness. An old woman steps forward, leering down at you from on high. Her smile is toothy and cruel. Her cheeks warp around it like melted candle wax.
I'm so glad that my messenger tracked you down. These days it's impossible to find good help. Before you draw your weapon, know that these proceedings are under a banner of peace. If this was a trap, it would have already closed around you. While Berath whispers in one ear and Aethys shouts in the other, I thought you could use a more seasoned perspective to drown out the noise. This is but a small corner of the beyond, one that I use for privacy and contemplation, when I need to get away from the endless chatter. Don't you find it unusual how open and accessible my siblings have made themselves? After millennia of subdued whispers, now they practically scream their intentions. And isn't it strange how we never bicker unless a mortal is watching? I would never deny that our pantheon is emotional, willful, and prone to overreaction, but we didn't get this far arguing over minutiae. If we still possessed our glorious titans, my siblings and I would have put an end to Aethys and his rampage by now. While we are powerless to stop him, some of my kin wish to observe how mortals respond to this threat. They think it will shine a light on the value of our patronage. Have we raised you well enough to be self-sufficient? Or must we return to Eora and impose some corrective measures? What indeed? That would depend on which of us you ask. A cross-section of society has converged on the Deadfire. Some of my kin are of an opinion that we are meant to judge mortals on the basis of their performance, while the rest of us have already made up our minds on the matter. Judge for yourself, but I think you'll find my intentions are more straightforward than you think. When we ascended to godhood, we did so to provide for a savage people. Our goal was to craft a society whose values were made to last. Perhaps even a society that had no need of us. A naive fallacy, but one that inspired my optimistic, misguided kin. How you and your allies counter this threat will demonstrate whether you are competent enough to guide your own destinies, or if we need to revise our strategy. The soft-hearted among us are counting on you to win this existential wager. No doubt, Aethys shares their sympathies. I do not. We exist to rule over mortals. Nothing can change that. So now you know the truth. I assume you have questions. Prove it or disprove it, yes. I never agreed to this arrangement, but if your example demonstrates mortal ineptitude, as I trust it will, then I can make the plan serve me. An assertive minority of gods believe that your choices will prove the value of their wild optimism. As if mortal collaboration and ingenuity are endorsements of our leadership. Then there are those of us who know better, who are not so easily convinced. Kith are vulnerable, unless they submit to the destiny we chart for them. Thinking otherwise can only breed dissent and chaos. It was an ambitious plan, our utopia. Perhaps too ambitious. We ascended to power, responding to a need inadequately satisfied. Assuming these roles gave us the authority to mold Eora over time, to influence you and lay the groundwork for a society yet to come. On the outset of the plan, some believed that mortals would outgrow us, as if that was a favorable outcome. To me, our eternal pantheon was always a critical fixture. Eothas was one of those who supported mortals, while I have always been their most vocal critic. A valid, self-defeating question, and one which I posed often. We assumed that they, whoever they were, would reveal themselves to us. Rational government would rule in our stead, leaving churches vacant. Thanks to Eothas, we're pulling the dough from the oven before it's had a chance to fully rise. You unfortunate bastards never had the chance to prove me wrong. You mean gods crafting a godless world? Naturally. My siblings desired to influence mortals and steer them in a proper direction, even if that direction led to places we could not follow. I have no intention of being left behind. Society would unravel without its queen to impose strict order. Opposition can take many forms. If a church embraces and weaponizes my doctrine, that is very different from me rampaging as a titan. Eothas is not known for subtlety. Twice now, he has contaminated the purity of our experiment, and done so with extravagant displays that undermine our authority. His approach was sophisticated, indirect. I owe you no explanations on the matter. Besides, you are not worthy to speak his name. I am the counterpoint to the soft-hearted. It makes no difference if mortals pass some arbitrary test. My mind is settled on the matter. Regardless of my feelings, the timing of this crisis forces us to accelerate our schedule. Final judgment comes sooner than any of us would prefer. If our pantheon found that mortals had cultivated a perfect, lawful system to maturity, I would not voice a word in protest. I would merely stand aside and await the inevitable collapse. Mortals need us. I know this as well as I know myself. Even a lawful and responsible society would be poised to collapse as long as its architects and strongest adherents were mortal. Any satisfaction that my siblings derived from their little experiment would be short-lived, and it would fall to me to clean up after their mess. Freedom is an unachievable illusion, heralded by the soft of heart. Only those who can find satisfaction in captivity are truly free. Make no mistake, Watcher. In this, I cannot be proven wrong. You have learned much already. Only ask if you are ready for the truth. Whether knowingly or unintentionally, you seem to find yourself on the vanguard of change. Mortals like you come but once in a lifetime. Some would react poorly if I stripped mortals of their freedom without giving them a chance to plead their case. You have the honor of standing tall as their advocate. Before I return to Eora and assume my position as your deserving tyrant, you have this opportunity to prove me wrong, to demonstrate whether or not mortals are responsible enough to claim their future. You speak as if you do. Mortals have precious little time to decide for themselves. Will they stand together as one, or swallow their pride and bend the knee? I have every confidence that you will disappoint us. Once my position is upheld, the undecided among the gods will embrace my plan. The wheel is our shared responsibility, and each of us serves it in our own fashion. I am the axle upon which the gods balance their power. Aethys keeps the wheel in motion. He was our promise to mortals that time and labor would yield a deserving reward on the next turning of the cycle. At the height of our power, we recognized the potential of the soul. We knew that it could be bound, split apart, diverted like a river, and hammered together. Hammering was trivial. Those of us who agreed with the Apotheosis Project, and many who did not, submitted to a violent and horrible erasure of our individuality. After the dust settled, we adopted the forms of beings from Eora's most prevalent myths. There were other faiths and legends, but we labored to strike their names from history. Much of reincarnation's mechanism exists in the idea space of the beyond. You wouldn't find a wall of cogs and levers unless we conjured one to illustrate a point. The wheel has but one material component in all of Eora, something we built to channel essence through luminous Adra and into the beyond with reliable continuity. Before we intervened, the flow of essence was directionless, unpredictable. We succeeded in widening the gap, diverting it, giving it an efficient path to follow. Before we took control of the wheel, reincarnation was error-prone, lacking forward momentum. Hollowborn were fairly common, and hardly the worst of the soul maladies. Control gave us the power to strengthen the souls of intelligent kith over generations. We made you wiser, stronger, more likely to develop the society we thought you deserved. Every turning of the cycle demonstrated the righteousness of my belief. Nature begets chaos, and discipline begets perfection. Speak, Watcher. It isn't every day that Nothing you've done has tarnished it utterly beyond repair. You may congratulate yourself on that much, at least. Yes, I think we will. This is not the end of our discussion. You know how to find your way back to this place.
Woedica nods stiffly. You feel her presence drift as a breeze, rustling as it goes.
It was on a cold and stormy night. The snow was on the ground. A sailor boy stood on the quay. His ship was outward bound. His sweetheart standing by his side had many a silent tear, and as he pressed her to his heart, he whispered in her ear, "Farewell, farewell, my own true love, this parting gives me pain. I'll be your own true guiding light when I return again. My thoughts shall be of you, when the storm is riding high. Farewell, my love."
Sometimes Aethys likes to keep the candles burning in his church when no one's around. But that ain't Aethys.
Constant.
You hear that? Whispers in the darkness. Whispers from the grave.
Ishi, you're shivering. Stay close, boy.
If you've seen what you need to see, Watcher, I'd like to fulfill my duty and reap this soul. Will you allow it? The season...
At your service. Could be a fight.
That was horrible.
What's our plan?
There.
May I assist? You ask so little. Keep it down. Slow and steady. strangest feeling I've done this before.
I see a soul in the darkness, one ready for reaping.
I've got quiff.
No, I cannot do that.
Glory be to God!
Let's take a look. A clever gambit. Strangest feeling I've done this before.
What did you find, Ishi? Still as a pond. Can't hide from me.
Could use something to put a little pep in my step.
What's our plan?
eyes open.
Wait, look there.
I've got some bad news. At your service.
I reap what I sow.
What's our plan? A clever gambit. You ask so little.
Real quiet now. The season of harvest.
Quiver.
Smart stoning. So good. Just like that.
What's our plan? At one. You ask so little. What's our plan? Naturally.
That's a baby Zorup. His mama must be half as tall as this whole building.
Be cautious. Be confident.
What have we here?
You read my mind. A clever gambit.
What did you find, Ishi?
You read my mind. Strangest feeling I've done this before. You've just made me wet.
Good. Still got it.
Just... Oh, that's the stuff.
What's our plan? That one. Agreed.
Dimming the lantern.
By decree of the Queen that was and the will of the Steel Garrote, you will meet justice. Kneel, Oswald, and be tried for your crimes.
Wait! I can pay you. I can make you all rich. Just let me go.
Your bribes fall on deaf ears,
All right.
Oathbreaker.
We're
We
gonna
seek
go in there
only
and
to
pretend to be
exact
judges
Woedica's
and say
justice.
this is an illegal trial,
What?
and now they're on trial.
I didn't do anything.
You stand accused of the crime of oath-breaking. What say you? You intrude on the deliberations of the Court of Woedica, outsider. Choose your next actions carefully, lest the Queen that was turn her gaze to you as well.
Oh, thank the gods, please. Get me out of here. They're mad. They're all mad. They mean to put me on trial for oath-breaking, of all things. They say I betrayed the Ederan Empire, but I haven't been back there in over 100 years.
Be silent, or I will make you so. State your purpose now, or die with him. Explain. the Watcher of Cadnua graces our presence. Your deeds are well known to this court. Those that attempt to lie to me find I am not easily fooled. Tell me, Watcher, how many of these souls do you claim were innocent? Even should you speak truthfully, you must see the wisdom of these proceedings. Imagine the greater good achieved by dispensing the reckoning this filth deserves. Would you prefer these monsters walk free at the expense of the truly innocent? You have no authority in the court of Woedica. Only the queen that was holds sway here. I pray your soul learns from your mistakes on its next turn about the wheel.
That was horrible.
Good.
At once.
Take you!
Vermut Sanctus spell.
That was amazing. You're so great at healing things. I mean, really great. Wow. I feel incredible. Can we do it again?
Agreed.
I owe you a debt too large to repay, stranger. How did you ever find me all the way out here? Did Inalis send you? That tenacious little wretch. I owe her my thanks. And a drink. Several drinks. And a fair bit of money, too. Those steel-garrote zealots have been after me for decades. Good riddance. Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, unfortunate business mishap. You know how it is, I'm sure.
Hunting a god doesn't cost much beyond time and sweat. Want to take over for us?
You did risk life and limb for me, it's true. And make no mistake, I am grateful. Really, really grateful. Believe me, I would give you something if I could. Well, that's not entirely true, is it? I have this old ring. It's the last possession of any value I own. Here, take it for your trouble. have a ship, don't you? Of course you do. How else would you have gotten to this benighted island? Let me join your crew. After what you did for me, well, I suppose you have the right to hear the truth of things. The whole truth, rather. You'll remember that the Deerwood was once a colony of Adir, yes? Well, I was one of the first colonists to set foot on that benighted continent. When it became evident the Deerwood intended to revolt, I took their side in the War of Defiance against the country of my birth. I'm sure you'll be astounded to learn the powers that be in Adir didn't much like that. The Steel Garrot's been after me for my grave transgression ever since. Those Steel Garrot hounds are relentless. But it should be a couple of years before they find me again, thanks to you, at least. I hope as much. It's no secret I'm an old man. Now, I might not be able to hoist a mainsail any longer, but I've picked up a thing or two about navigation in my decades of traveling. And I don't care much for coin, I can tell you that. An extra ration of rum here and there, and I'll be perfectly contented. Thank you, my friend. I owe you a debt twice over.
And some that's bound for months. Heave away, my lad.